Hey everyone, it is July 21st. I'm Wendy Pope. This is Read Through the Word. And it's a great day. I hope you're having a great day. I am, and I hope you are. So I have said for a really long time, numerous times, and often and for a long time, how much I love the chronological Bible. You guys know that because it is the source of what we do every single day. The Bible, yes, but the chronological, yes, to the max. I love it. But one of the things that I truly love is the feature is that we get to read other accounts of the same story at the same time. So what's repeated in what's written in Kings might be repeated in Chronicles. It might be repeated in Isaiah, and that's what we see here in the last 2 days. These stories are all overlapping about the attack of Syria on Judah. And our key verse is at the very end of July 21st. However, everything that is compiled in that whole little section there about Isaiah and Hezekiah praying together, crying out in prayer together, which I had never noticed that before, that they prayed together, goes back to all the way back to the beginning of yesterday's reading. Now, I'm not saying you need to stop this and go read, because I'm going to pull some pieces together. I do feel like it's important to go back and read it, but it's not for our today's lesson because I'm going to be able to piece these pieces together. But I love that they went into the house of the Lord and prayed humbly and passionately together to the God of heaven, is what Scripture says in our key verse 32:20. Now that is a small picture of the greater portion of what happened, which is at the beginning of our reading for today, and that is 2 Kings 19, 1 through 9. One of my favorite examples of a prayer is Hezekiah's prayer when he received the letter from the chief of the Assyrian chief of, I guess, of the king's chief of Sennacherib. I might have said that wrong. Of Assyria, because Hezekiah, when you go back to yesterday's reading, told the people, look, be courageous. Let me go back to his exact words. Don't be afraid or be discouraged of the king of Assyria or his mighty army, for there is a power far greater on our side. Okay, so they know an attack's coming, and he, in great kingly fashion, is saying, you know what? The power that's on our side is better. So don't worry about that. So then there's this correspondence that go back and forth between the king of Assyria's throne and the king of Judah's throne. In other words, his people keep taking messages back to his people, and they keep writing letters back and forth. And the king of Assyria is saying, look, don't listen to Hezekiah. He's actually now trying to talk to the people of Judah. He says numerous times here I'm in 2 Kings 18, the section of 19 through 37. He's saying, look, don't listen to Hezekiah. Has those gods saved you already before? Don't listen to him. So Hezekiah's gotten word that the report of them coming and attacking is really bad. And in 2 Kings 19, he's praying to them. He actually tears his clothes. He wears burlap. He goes and he sends his people to go over to the temple to talk to Isaiah. And what he ends up doing is just a beautiful picture of what we should do when we have trouble with the Lord, and that is just pour it out before the Lord. Just go to the Lord and just pour ourselves out to him. Spread everything out before the Lord and pray. And I love his prayer there. So if you get a moment, even try to read that prayer out loud. In verse 19 of 2 Kings 19, he says, Now, O Lord our God, rescue us from his power, the king of Assyria's power. Then in all kingdoms of the earth will know that you alone are God. That's a key phrase in the passion and humility and the call to prayer that Isaiah and Hezekiah felt, the urgency to pray together. Because he says, then the whole earth will know that you alone are God. Yes, of course, Hezekiah he doesn't want his people attacked. No, he doesn't want his people attacked. And yes, of course, he wants them to be safe. But the ending of this prayer says, look, it's beyond that. It's beyond our safety. I want the whole earth to know that you alone are God. Okay, put a pin in that. That's good. Then listen to what F.B. Meyer said. And it challenged me. Oh, did it challenge me. It was the indignity done to Jehovah that stirred these two holy men to the heart. Oh, that we were possessed with a similar zeal for God, so that we might look at the sin as it affects him and lament over the awful wrongs which are continually perpetuated against his holy and loving nature. What an argument this would give us in prayer. You know, so often I pray with people, and I pray with like-minded people. I pray in agreement with them, and I pray with humbleness. And that's what these two men did. I pray that. Yes, I do. But what I'm convicted of is am I more concerned about an answer and a response that I want than I am about the indignity and that is received and is heaped on Jehovah my God, and how sin affects him. And do I lament over awful wrongs that are continually perpetuated against his holy and loving nature? The answer is no, I am not. And this hit me square between the eyes. You may see a little bit of a bruise right there. I'm just kidding. But that's how I felt. I'm so selfish. I'm so selfish. I am in my prayers. Now please hear me. I'm not saying that we shouldn't pray for our loved ones, and we shouldn't pray for even ourselves. I'm not saying that at all. But when we totally disregard the indignity that this world shows the greatness and the holiness of God, his loving and kind and merciful and gentle nature, that should alarm us. That alone is cause enough to pray. Whether we're alone, just by itself, could we spend time? Could we spend time praying in that vein as these two men were concerned? I'm telling you, this rocked me. It really did. It's going to mess with my prayer life in a good way. I also shared 4 main points from a great article, great article that I read from Guidepost Online. And I love Guidepost. I have not. My mother-in-law used to give me Guidepost every year, a subscription for that every year for Christmas. I don't even know if it's still in print, and I certainly didn't even know that they had it online. It just showed up. But these points are not mine. I'm making total reference and credit to them by giving you this link and pulling that into today's lesson. I thought would be a great little addition if you wanted to do a deeper dive into praying and praying together and the benefits of that. But we cannot miss what F.B. Meyer said, and we cannot dismiss it, because it's truly, truly crucial that the church learns, that believers learn to truly pray, yes, for other people, for our nation, for ourselves, yes. But go to God and say, God, I am so sorry that this world is dissing you. I am so sorry that I've dissed you. And that I am acting and reacting and responding in ways that do not reflect the dignity that is due you. Anyways, y'all have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time we're together on Read Through the Word.